My. How in the heck are you guys doing tonight? Good to see you all. Again, welcome, and welcome to the show. We are going to get right down to it, but a word from our
Alright, motherfucker, listen up. This is for the fucking homies steady giving no fucks. If you wanna join the party, put your middle fingers up, and when the music fucking hits, you better jump.
What's up, beautiful ones? Okay, I see. That's the one. All right, cool. We are all good, man. What's up, everybody? Good to see you guys on a freaking Saturday, man. Holy moly. What's up, peeps? Who we got up in here? What's up, Hillbilly? Little bit of Lisa, Hank Bridges in the house. Good to see you all. I am so happy you guys are here. Yep. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with OAD. Yep. Thank you for letting me bring you all the craziness in news today. How is everybody? Stacy, what's up? Mindy, what's poppin'? What's poppin', Mindy? Cali Cat. You did you do. What's up, Hank? How are you, buddy? Donald, hey, Donald, how are you? Donald. Donald. Twisterella. Who's texting me? No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope. How is everyone, Cuddle Monster? You guys having a good weekend? Huh, Lisa Cole, how are you? Don't forget to make them mad. I was going to tell y'all something I forgot. Oh, I'm going to continue to discuss this, but YouTube is hindering me a little on it. But I don't back away. Yeah, all messages here. There we go. Yeah, I don't back away. They're trying to silence me, man. They ain't giving me ad revenue and shit. On only this topic, too. So I tried to word it a little different this time to see if maybe that would help. What's up, Christopher? Casey? I tried to word it a little different, man, because they're hindering my ad revenue, yo. And I don't really care. As you see, I'm still talking about the subject. I don't care. I'm not going to stop. Just put House of Horrors in the title. I tried that. I think I tried that. Hi, Chris from KC. Y'all, boy, I swear. With these new ass channels coming in here. Hey, AD. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, moderators? Y'all peeped it, right? Like, come on, bro. You got a 10-day-old channel, bro. Arista, what's poppin', Arista? CG, how are you? I'm definitely not stopping. What's up, CG? Jekyll, hey, what's up, Jekyll? Here we go. All right. I don't really care. I can show you that they're getting me on it. I got a couple emails. I don't know what they're getting me for though. I don't know what they're using. So I don't think it's the content itself. It might just be my titles. So I'm going to try to title it differently. Yeah, I think if I'm using, I don't know. I really don't know because the word children's used all over YouTube. So I really don't know what it is. But we're going to continue to keep talking about it anyway, Nana. I don't give a fuck, Nana. YouTube cannot silence me over ad revenue. Kiss my ass. Ha ha. I don't give a fuck. Now, it's not the clips because the clips, it'll tell me it's the clips. Yeah, I left and I didn't see what was going on, but yeah, don't show up over here. You be gone, gone. You'll be gone. Yeah, I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't see it, man. Let's see here. I want to talk about this too because this is what I was talking about last night. I think this is the video where they show it, but you can hear the prosecutor asking for more money.
Gentlemen, I've come to ask for some help. The case is getting a life of its own. The hidden kids of Omer. That is what it's all about. Is they hid these kids from everybody.
A major
The hidden kids of Omer. Yeah, the gag order. The gag order was on Christina as well. That could be from like Gary getting a note to his mom, and they're probably going to do it for Christina as well. I mean, Elizabeth as well. I would imagine. Let me get a drink, man.
update on the 16 Siders children rescued from the so-called House of Horrors and how long they could be in foster care as the investigation moves forward and grows and more clues are uncovered at the many homes where the Siders used to live. I have the new details. I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. Let's get into it.
Yeah, this is going to be about where they used to live, all the places they used to live.
We have a major update on the 16 Siders children that law enforcement found inside that home on Omer Street in Vinton County more than 3 weeks ago. Vinton County's prosecutor, William Archer, has actually given an update on the status of the children. And from the information Archer provided to county commissioners, it sounds like the Siders family may.
What did Lisa say? But it includes more mentions any info on victims or those involved in the case. Yeah, just for her, though. Just for her side of the case. Yeah. And if Elizabeth does it, then we won't get any information. And it probably will happen. I'm just saying, it probably will.
Never be reunited with their children. I'll get to that very shortly. This update comes as questions remain about the physical and emotional condition of the children. That is information we just don't have at this time. We know that all of the children are out of the hospital and in therapeutic foster care. I'll get to what Prosecutor Archer said in this update to county commissioners shortly and how the investigation into the family and the children is growing. The parents.
Yeah, you got people breaking in the home. You got people the people in the public is into this really heavy. Like myself, I am invested in this. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't help it, dude. I am invested in this. And it's partly because I hate to see children being treated this way. I hate it. It just irks a nerve in me.
Of the children, Gary Siders Jr. and Elizabeth Siders, and their grandparents, Gary Siders Sr. and Christina Siders, all face child endangering charges. They've pleaded not guilty. Gary Jr., Elizabeth, and Christina all remain in the Southeast Ohio Regional Jail. Only Gary Sr. has been released from jail. He's receiving treatment for a serious medical condition. We're going to go.
Where is he? Where is he? Does anybody know where he is? He's getting treatment for a serious medical condition. Okay, great. Where is he? Yeah, I was watching it. I'll talk about it when we kind of cool down a little bit from this, what we're talking about tonight. We'll go into some other subjects. I was watching some dude today, man. He was a sailor, I guess, whatever you call him, skipper, sailor, a guy that just lives on the water. And he was a pretty bright young man. Like, he was young too, like younger than me. And he was saying shit that I wouldn't expect a youngster to say, you know? And he had talked how he had been in a lot of trouble. I think what happened was he got in jail and started reading some
information
books.
that we've learned,
Got
and we're
himself
going to
smart.
look at why Gary Siders Jr.'s attorney asked for a continuance in his public indecency case. Gary
You
Jr.
might be
is
right,
accused
Rebecca.
of exposing himself
They're
to
probably in
someone
the
who
hospital.
wasn't his family at the house on Omer Street 4 times between May 23rd and May 31st. He was scheduled to appear in court this week, but Jr.'s lawyer asked that the hearing be
Hi, Sharon.
continued. Former Ohio prosecutor Mark Pietmeyer will join me very shortly to discuss that request for a continuance, his thoughts on the case, and what is likely going on behind the scenes in this investigation. But first, let's talk about the
Does hurt
houses
my
where the
heart.
Siders lived before they made the move from Gallia County to Vinton County in 2021. From the
Come here.
records we've gathered, it appears the Siders moved from
Come
Gallia
here.
to Vinton in 2020 or 2021. Birth records show that Gary and Elizabeth Siders lived at 5 different addresses beginning in 2015 when the first child was born. The last known address for Gary, Elizabeth, and their children was
Now that looks like a bigger home to me. Does it not, you? That looks like a house that could house them. Yeah, they trashed all the houses. I don't know if it can hold 16 kids, but it looks to be like a 4-bedroom at least. What's up, buddy? Come here to me. Yeah, it looks to be like a 4-bedroom at least, right? You think maybe 1 downstairs, 3 up? That's a big house.
in Cheshire. The house sits on Honeysuckle Drive. A neighbor who did not want to appear on camera told us he remembers the family. He said he thought there were 9 children. This would have been in 2020 or 2021. The neighbor said the family kept to themselves, and while he saw children outside at times, mostly they just stayed in the house. A woman who works nearby told us the house was absolutely trashed by the Siders. She knows the man who owns it. And we previously told you that the man who rehabbed the house told ABC6 in Columbus that the house was full of urine and pet and human feces. The man also said the attic was full of children's clothing, as if someone was living in it.
So they probably were living in the attic. Oh, man, dude. Like, do you really need animals if you got 16 kids? I mean, I understand cats and dogs bring a lot of love into the household, right? I get that. But do you really need them? Yeah, big old fucking room. Big old ceilings in them.
The woman who works nearby told us that Gary Jr. actually used to come into the store where she works to buy scratch-offs. She said Gary Jr. didn't buy anything else but scratch-off lottery tickets.
Yeah, that's what he should be buying. Scratch-offs. The scratch-off ain't going to win you $10 million to take care of the rest of your fucking life. You know what I mean? You need to be playing the big lottery if you're going to play lottery at that many damn kids. Woo, we might win $1,000. Yay! This is drug addict behavior, bro. Scratch-offs. That's addiction behavior. That's what it is. It's an addictive behavior.
And he tipped her $10 one time. Another house where the Siders lived was on Garfield Avenue in Gallipolis.
Yeah, that one's
Records
small.
show the Siders lived in that home in 2019, possibly for a brief time before moving to the home in Cheshire that we already showed to you. Another family already appears to live here. The Siders had a third
Damn, man. That was a little house.
address in Gallipolis. The family lived here in 2008, according to records.
Okay, so this is the place they lived at on the oldest of the records. So this is like the first place they got of records for them. How many kids did you have living in this thing, man? You know that's only a 3-bedroom, and you know trailer rooms are little, dude. A trailer room will barely hold a fucking bed sometimes. Yeah, the husband just in there buying scratch-offs like his kids don't need things.
This is where they lived when Elizabeth gave birth to the couple's first child. That was obviously a very long time ago, so the property may look different than it did then. But the home is surrounded by other mobile homes.
Yeah.
And finally, the Siders lived at a property on Poplar Church Road in Bidwell. The family lived here for several years, from at least 2009 to 2014.
Right, so they went to the trailer to this.
Gary Jr. and Elizabeth moved to Vinton County and lived in this home in Hamden for some period of time.
Damn.
Then they made the move to the house on Omer Street, where the search warrant was executed on June 30th, and that's where the children were found. All of the children remain in foster care after Vinton County was granted temporary custody of the children. Now, the investigation into the Siders' children and their family keeping them off the radar continues, but prosecutor William Archer has told...
They know they've got 4 of since 2008, so that's every 4 years they're moving. Seems like. What's up, Mandy? Like it's like every 4 years they're moving. They're hiding. I don't know what would make you want to hide. Think about that. It can't be just not being able to get your kids to school. It can't be just that. Plus, you're having more kids and more kids. What would make you want to hide them? Thank you for that flowing heart, Manda. Hitting the gift box for me. The gift shop is open, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the jewels, baby. Ooh, Amy sent a mic drop. Ooh, a mic drop. Is that how they do it? Neglect? So they were hiding them because they neglected them? So you think they were running from CPS, maybe? Lily said hiding because you got things you don't want to be known. Maybe hiding from CPS? That's one thing. Drugs, like you said, AD. All good, Amanda. We're always here. We don't go anywhere. Hiding the pervert. What's up, Robin? We know they were hiding them from school truancy. But why? Why? I mean, if you can't get your kids to go to school, then they just go to juvenile. That's what happened to me. My mama was getting ready to get in trouble over me not going to school, and it flipped on me. They put me in boot camp twice for truancy. They couldn't get me to go to school. You might be right, Arista. You might be right. Anybody that'll show his dick to uncertain people, like, I just don't understand why she would do the hiding so much of them. And it really, I sure will, Amanda. Where'd he go? He's not in here. Little dude's been playing with his toys today. He slept up in the bed with me until fucking noon. I've seen people back home live in pretty bad conditions, but nothing like this. Yeah, this is worse than the Whitakers were ever living. This is 10 times worse than the Whitakers. This makes the Whitaker situation look petty. It really does. I mean, it's not petty. It just kind of it just overshadows it because of so many children involved. Unvaccinated? You don't have to vaccinate your kids. My children never were vaccinated. Yeah, he got busted, huh?
The Vinton County commissioners that the county is seeking permanent custody of all 16 children. Permanent.
Ow, permanent.
Meeting notes from the July 14th County Commission meeting state Prosecutor William Archer attended the commissioners' meeting asking for $20,000 additional money to help with the cost of the Siders case. If all of it is not used, it will be returned. He has some help from the state, but it will not cover all. The children's services cases will be another expense as the county is asking for permanent custody of the children. The commissioners will discuss and determine where the money will come from.
So here's the thing with this. That's awfully soon to be asking for permanent custody of these children. I think that's really, really soon. Because what if this family gets found innocent from some odd reason, right? So by law, you have to return the children to their parents, and then you're going in. I don't think that that's a very good idea. I mean, I never want to strip away their kids from their parents, but if they're living like this, I guess you have to at some point. But I hope if they're getting permanent custody, I would hope that they have a permanent place for them. No one has said anything about Elizabeth. Thank you for the dono, Topaz. I think it was just a rumor. I think it was just a rumor, Topaz. Terminating the parental rights process is beginning. Yeah, but I would hope that they have like a permanent place for these children, you know, not just floating around in the system and then the system having the custody over them, because that can happen. It can happen a lot. Like each kid have its own problems and no foster parent wants to keep it, so they just float around in the system. Well, they're already split up, they said, Mindy. They're already split up. Some of them aren't even in the same counties. Yeah, it showed paperwork that she
Now,
said she
audio
was
of
pregnant.
the meeting was also recorded. Take
Like
a
I said,
listen.
I think that was a
I'm
rumor.
making a request for a separate line item for the Siders case.
Okay, I want you guys to listen to this. I'm going to boost the volume a minute here so you guys can hear it better.
I'm asking for $20,000. If we don't spend it, it'll go right back to you guys. But I'm going to have overtime and things that I'm going to have to. Case of this magnitude is not an easy thing to do, and I can't ask Anika's staff to do work. And the AG's office is providing some assistance. They've got their own caseloads as well. And just so you know, this is not just about the criminal case. There's also the children's services case, which we will be asking for permanent custody of all 16 kids. So we've got that case. Our related cases that started all of this that's going to be involved as well. And then we may do something about the house and the people who are trespassing into the house.
Told you, didn't I? That's ugly, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all out here breaking in this house. Y'all are stupid. Thanks for the videos, but y'all are stupid. Like he said it right there. We don't know what we want to do about it yet. Like they can literally come out and arrest you. Like you're fucking with a crime scene. Like that is dumb, dude. That's what he said too. He wants to put motherfuckers in jail.
That started all of this that's going to be involved as well. And then we may do something about the house and the people who are trespassing into the house. So it really has got a life of its own.
Yeah, dude. Hey, you want to boost your income for the county? Lock an ass up. Lock their ass up. That'll boost your income. I don't think it's cute. I mean, I enjoyed watching the videos. I didn't enjoy, but I liked that there was proof of how the house was shown. But that's not our duties as citizens. You know, we can't take it upon ourselves to take law into our own hands. You know, we can't. And breaking into a place just to show everybody the living conditions were actually that bad, it's kind of wild, man. I think I would have tried to do it other ways than breaking through it, you know. I would have tried to like reach in through a window or something, you know.
Zone. And so I'm asking the county's commitment to help me with that.
This is a weekly meeting that takes.
That's ugly. That's ugly. He's asking for the county to help them lock up people.
Place. It was open to the public, and it's not uncommon for a prosecutor to update commissioners on a high-profile criminal case,
basically,
especially
they posted it
when they're asking for more funding. And there was discussion about the scope of the investigation and the resources it's requiring for this small county.
Obviously, my salary is what it is, and I'll work the hours that I need to work. But my staff, I need to be able, when they're doing the administrative and helping with
how dumb
cases, because the other cases will still go on.
Yeah, they even had somebody on the phone telling them what to do and shit. What idiots.
The Siders case is not.
I mean, anybody that posted it first, you're fucked. You're hit. You're an accomplice of it. Period. That's called it's called burglary, man.
Only case the county. So that's my pitch. I'm happy to answer questions or just let you guys debate it. But that is
stupid, isn't it, Predator?
I do have a meeting with the assistant, with the help special prosecutors at noon today, and we're going to talk a little more about the case, obviously. But you guys, you know what's going on. It's not anything that I've created. It's out there on its own.
There was also discussion about the cost of the public defenders representing the 4 Siders family members and whether they had practiced.
Wait a minute. The dude's just a public defender? Dude's just a public defender?
In the county previously.
If we did do that, put line items so that we could keep track, hopefully get reimbursed from the state if it comes to it.
I would say to you, as we did when this all first started, strike while the iron's hot. We got foster care money, good, but don't be afraid to ask them for more.
Right.
There's unprecedented as far as I'm being told.
Right.
So
unprecedented, y'all.
Poor county. I know resources are tight.
Unprecedented.
Don't be afraid to ask them. They've all made public comments about this case. Tell them to put their money, and they have partly. Right. Tell them to put their money where their mouth is and help us out.
Might be a good time to bumper levy.
Well,
have a good
one of my colleagues
Amanda.
with the Prosecuting Attorneys Association said, I think you might be able to get your jail now. Tim's going to have a heart attack. I just said that for his benefit. So
he's got 5 months to recoup.
He's got 5 months. But I appreciate you guys' time. And I will tell you, I worked Sunday, and Tim came in to check on me, make sure I was all right. I appreciated that. Or not Tim, Kevin came in. Tim,
thank you, Amanda. I appreciate you, darling.
To see how I was
doing.
Just
see that truck there all by itself. I knew he was working on. So,
I thought him in there now.
No, he wasn't napping.
No,
he wasn't napping.
He wasn't napping. We were rocking on some tunes though while we were working. So. Thank you, guys.
Sent me broken hearts on the way out. Thank you,
All right,
Amanda.
so to dig into
Appreciate
very
you, love.
latest details on this case, I want to bring in Mark Pietmeyer. He is a retired former assistant chief prosecutor in the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office in Cincinnati, Ohio. Not too many hours away.
Some silver stars. Thank you for the gifts, man. The gift shop is open. Look at y'all.
From where this case is unfolding. Mark, thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the gift shop gifts.
Tell me, if you would, your thoughts on Gary Jr.'s attorney seeking a continuance on this misdemeanor public indecency case. Why do you think he did that?
I could see one thing.
Nothing about it.
If he pleads him guilty, I mean, there's evidence that could be used against him in the future on other crimes. And a public indecency is a weird charge. The fact that people are outside exposing themselves, and if there's some kind of sex offenses coming down the road, that you wouldn't want to have your client already admit to a sex offense, and then they can bring that up in the other case. That's one possible thing. The other thing is just, it's a small county. I'm sure everybody's following this case. And again, if he would go to court on this case, it's going to keep him in the mind of the public, and they're going to remember that down the road if there's more serious charges that he has to go to trial on. So I can see him not wanting to do anything on the case until he knows everything that he's facing.
It's so interesting to me that out of nowhere, it seems we have this investigation into this family, and they won't tell us what the initial search warrant was for that they went there for, but they said it
I think they
wasn't
got tipped
related
off.
to
I
these
think they got
16
tipped
children.
off.
They were shocked when they went in there.
So they're saying it wasn't related and they were shocked. The search warrant, though, dude. You're not going to get a search warrant for public indecency unless he was hiding in there, they knew he was in there, and they were lying. That's the only thing I can think of. Because they're saying it's not about these kids, that they were surprised when they got in. I think maybe he was hiding and they said, hey, we're going to get a search warrant. We know he's in there. Could be what it is. But I don't think they could get one just off of I don't think you can get a search warrant just to arrest him on that. Yeah, there's a gift shop. You think that's what it was? Maybe he was hiding, so they went and got a warrant to go in. Yeah,
But
that sounds more
obviously,
feasible.
somebody reported, and we don't know who it is. Somebody reported that Gary Jr. was exposing himself at the home address on
Ooh.
4 different occasions in the last week of May.
So that's got to be a neighbor then. Well, a probate judge is just like a stand-in judge. I got a 100, 100, 100, 100. Then they see all those children while looking for him. That might be what it is.
So in my mind, I'm like, well, what took so long? Because that's a pretty, unless there was a lag in reporting it. What do you think could be behind that?
Again, it's a smaller county. It's got a smaller police department. That's a weird charge, but maybe they had bigger things they had to take care of at the time. Or maybe it's a situation where it's my understanding the kids have not been going to school. That's one thing they have to look at. Now you've got the dad exposing themselves, and maybe somebody decided, there's probably more there than we're seeing. So maybe that's why they geared up. They got in BCI, they got the attorney general involved, and probably did a good job on the search warrant. So when they went in there, they could get everything they wanted. So again, it's probably limited resources is a big part of why there was a delay.
Interesting. Because if you got somebody outside, and we still don't have the exact details on that, but they're basically saying he's outside, he's at the home address, and he's exposing himself. I mean, that's
So there's somebody outside. Somebody outside that was able to give him his home address. This motherfucker probably standing on his porch flipping his dick out. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
concerning to say the least. And it's 4 times within an 8-day period, allegedly. Let's talk now about this family just kind of moving around. I mean, the allegation here is that these people just were not sending their
This
kids
guy
to
right
school.
here on the right, whipping his dick out for y'all. Thank you, Twister. You too. This guy right, probably peeing off the porch. That seems like it could be. Hell, I've pissed off the porch, not thinking anything. Yeah, people that whip their fucking dicks out are pretty sick. I think you're right, Angela. We're gonna have to get some court documents that the family was set to move again.
Cool.
It had been
I mean,
4
we have
years
at least
there.
4 prior addresses that we visited in Gallia County, and the one house that they lived in before they moved to Vinton, it was trashed. We were told, like, absolutely trashed. Human feces, pet feces, urine, kids' clothes in the attic. I mean, what on earth? Have you ever seen anything like that, Mark?
No,
Human feces.
I
Human.
prosecuted for 44 years. I did specials in a lot of counties across the state. I've seen bad things, but no, I personally have never been involved in a case involving kids, except a big sex offense case involving kids that has those kind of details. I can't imagine how horrific that was.
Mm-hmm. What reason would anybody have to keep their kids out of school? I mean, there's been some rumors and talk that maybe they were homeschooled, but you have to register with the state if you're homeschooling kids. You can't just like keep them home and say, we're keeping them home.
That kitty needs a bath. He needs a bath.
And we're just going to do it ourselves. I mean, there's a process there.
Yes. To me, if you're not sending your kids to school and you're not homeschooling them, you don't want the people at the school to see these kids. And if a kid is physically or emotionally or mentally somehow abused, people are going to pick up on that real quick at school. The classmates are going to go home and tell their parents, so-and-so came to school today, and either she told me this or I noticed this about her, and word's going to get out. So I think that would be the main factor. These parents don't want people to realize what's going on in the house. And the best way to do it is to keep the kids at home so no one can see them or talk to them.
We had been told very early on that Children's Services in Gallia County had some type of contact with the family. We didn't know the exact nature of it, but then I was able to kind of verify that. So I've got that from at least two sources that Gallia County CPS had kind of had some type of contact with this family, and then boom, they take off. That in and of itself is pretty concerning because they moved just one county north.
Well, I don't know how the county children's services agencies communicate with each other, but
obviously they don't.
Different moves. If there's one visit,
obviously they don't. Obviously our system doesn't fucking work. Obviously they didn't fucking do anything. Quite obvious, sir.
From a children's services agency and things are bad and they're bad, I can see why the family thinks, what? We got to get out of town. We got to move on to someplace else. And maybe that's the reason why they kept moving around, because they knew that Children's Services Agency is going to come back knocking on the door again. And we don't want to be here when they do that. I mean, to me, that would be a good reason for the parents to keep moving around.
Yeah. But what I'm asking is, why go through all that when you can just send your kids to school? See what I mean? You get what I mean? It can't be just school. You know what I mean? That's why I think that there's drugs involved. But like, just because kids don't want to go to school, or just because, I don't get it. I don't get it. Because the kids were in bad shape. Well, straighten them up. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would do something to fix it if you weren't hindered by drug use, gambling use. That's why I think there's drugs involved. I don't know why you would want to go through all this if you weren't on drugs. I feel like there's an ulterior motive here. Like, if it's all about they just didn't send their kids to school, then why didn't they just get it together and send their kids to school? Like, because there was something hindering them from that. I don't know, though. I don't know for sure, guys. I don't know. Mental health illness would be a big thing too. I'm not saying that's not part of it. There's like a lot of things can be true at once. But it just seems all foolish, And it seems really foolish because you got grandma and grandpa there too. Let's not forget that grandma and grandpa have been there the whole time too. and they should have stepped in and said something. So, like, what's really going on? What the fuck is really going on? Like, all four of them just decided to live that way. 4 people. 4 adults, bro. I just don't understand how 4 people, like, people say there was some postpartum depression involved. I get it. She was probably always had it. How many kids she have? 18 kids, you might as well say. But that Gary don't get it. Christina won't get it for her. Gary Sr. won't get it. So why are 4 people living in postpartum depression? So that you can kind of throw out the window because there was 4 adults that decided to live this way. 4 of them.
Like gypsies.
The prosecutor in Vinton County, William Archer, he briefed the county commissioners
It
on
don't
this
make it
case
okay.
recently.
Nothing makes it okay.
And he said
there's
that
nothing.
the case is expanding. So this case, it's not getting smaller. They're apparently finding out more.
Absolutely,
And
Lily.
he said that the
Yep.
county is seeking permanent custody of those children.
That's
So
Hellcat.
what
You
does
got
that
it,
tell
kitty
you?
cat.
I mean, if
You
you're
got it,
seeking
L
permanent
kitty.
custody, that is granted through a dependency action, those people are never getting those kids back.
No. And it sounds like, and again, I had a similar case in Hamilton County. The Crafts, Robin and I forget the dad's name, but we both went to trial on both of them. They were sexually abusing their kids and putting it over the internet. And those kids, Hamilton County got permanent custody of those because there's no way they were ever going to give them back. And in fact, the parents will both die in prison because of the sentences they got. So it's a very unique situation.
4 of them,
permanent
Marista.
custody, because the main
4
goal
of them.
of Children Protective Services is to reunite the kids with the parents. But if a situation is that bad that you should never do it, and to do it that quick, it tells me it had to be a horrible situation.
Oh, we've seen
and
it.
that's what's shocking to me.
We've
because
seen it.
That is what the courts, that's basically
I can tell you right now that all those children should never be back with their parents ever again. Just by seeing the inside of that house, yeah, never. There's nothing they could do in court that could make me believe that those kids need to be back with mother and father.
they err on the side of reuniting the children
Yes.
with the parents and what is in the best interest of the child. And they always seek to reunify.
Yes.
Elizabeth Sider's lawyer, Tommy Stolley, wrote in a motion that her goal is to get out of jail and be reunited with her children. But we're very early on in this. We're just a little more than 3 weeks in, and they're saying we're seeking permanent custody.
Well,
So-
that tells me that these kids must be permanently damaged. And I've had situations like that.
Oh, I
where even
guarantee
though they're
they
young
are.
kids, you can tell they're never going to recover from the abuse they've been going through, emotional, physical, sexual, whatever it is. And I don't care what these parents do in the
How you
future.
getting
There's
booted?
no way we can, in good conscience, ever let
We
these
ain't
kids go
booting you.
back with those. I'll
You
call
two
them
booting
animals
you?
that were raising them.
You quit acting
So it's got to
bad,
be
man.
pretty bad right out of the gate. Yes.
Yeah,
You're
I do want to
bad.
be clear with our audience. We don't know the nature of the initial investigation. You brought up this prior sex case that you were involved in. We don't
Trying
know
to
if
have a
there
house
is a
no more.
sexual abuse component to this. The authorities haven't commented on that. However, you're just speaking from your experience as an expert on these issues. So we're going to wait to see what unfolds.
Yes.
But obviously, these children they're being hidden. The AG said they're being abused by not being sent to school and being kept in squalor and
AC?
being kept isolated. I mean, that's neglectful.
Yes. And I know originally I read or I heard that a couple of these kids had to be immediately given emergency medical
Damn.
attention. And I don't know if they're out of the woods on that yet or not, but when I
Damn.
look at a situation like the Marcus Faisal case, where he was the kid in Claremont County that was left in the closet over the weekend, and he died as a result of that. And something else.
What the fuck is wrong with these people, dude? What's wrong with them? Given beautiful human beings they're given, and they just fuck them up. What is wrong with somebody hurting a child, dude? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? If you ever hurt a children, oh man,
If
God is
one of
not
these
gonna
kids
like
would
you,
die
man.
as a result of this child abuse, that's felony murder, and that was I want to say recent, but within the last 20 years in
Yeah, we
Ohio.
know all about it. Miss Rebecca's been through all about this kind of stuff, sir. Shout out to Miss Rebecca. She's a fucking warrior. Yeah, she's a fucking warrior. We're going to get you up there, Rebecca. I think that would be the greatest thing is if Rebecca and her story could help launch her channel to where she could make tons of money on her YouTube channel and say, fuck you, Chris Greger, in that way. And using that story of him being such a pitiful piece of shit. Fuck yeah. I'm all for it.
They made it a
I'm here
crime
for
that
that.
if you commit a serious felony, and even if you don't
No
intentionally
hate in
kill
my blood,
someone,
baby. Just
they die
go.
as a result. That's a murder charge. So that's something else that could be coming down the road. If one of these kids doesn't recover from physical abuse and dies as a result, these charges could be as serious as murder. So that's,
Yeah.
again, hopefully it won't come to that, but that's another possible thing that could happen out of this situation.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable to me that you'd have 16 kids, and it doesn't seem that they all have bedrooms or share bedrooms because they're in this
Rebecca's a
house
beast,
that's
man.
13 to 1500 square feet. They don't have. I'm assuming they don't have 16 beds in that house. So how they were actually living is just beyond me, and we'll find out more.
Okay, so you've seen the amount of roaches in that place, right? You've seen the amount of roaches. Imagine the mice that are in that joint. Think about the mice that are in that house at night crawling around, fucking getting in from every which direction. Got a train track across the street from you. You got nothing but field and all kinds of shit around you. Bugs all around you. Man, they had bugs all through that house, y'all. It was disgusting. It was something like I've never seen before. There's trap houses that do better than that. There is. There is, man. There's trap houses with little doors that they slide the dope out of, and you drop your money in, and that motherfucker is doing better than that. I'm telling you, man. Could you imagine, man? I bet going to sleep every night was like a fucking nightmare, dude. Ugh. I bet it was like a nightmare. Not knowing what's crawling on you, not knowing what's crawling around you. I guarantee you that shit was a nightmare for these children. And if it wasn't, that means it was real bad. That they've got this embroiled into their kids' heads that living like this is okay. I don't think that's able to be done with kids walking around with phones in their hand, though. And they're seeing other people live much better. You couldn't sleep, L. I couldn't do it, cat. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. No way. They only had like they didn't even have beds. There was just like mattresses on the floor with like foam pad everywhere. And it was like off a built on room that was already built on and it had its own door. It was really weird, man. And the walls were ripping out of it. Fucking drywall half off the wall. You know, mice were everywhere all over them kids, man. All so bad. 3 mattresses. I think that's about what I've seen too, Lisa. with like some egg crate foam or whatever. You know what I mean? That egg carton foam. Cockroaches leave all kind of stuff. They shit everywhere. They're nasty as fuck. And you know, those things can get in your ear and lay eggs and shit, dude. These things are nasty, man. And that place was the picture of the roaches on the hoodie. I thought that was wild, man. That was probably the cleanest looking shirt in the house, and it was hanging up, and there was like 5 roaches crawling through it. I was like, oh my God, dude. Like, one of these kids grab a shirt, yeah, it's got bugs all in it. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Something in the beginning told me that they didn't even live there, is how bad it looked. I thought maybe they lived somewhere else, man. Shout out to motherfucking AC with the $5 donation. I appreciate y'all for showing me love, man. These videos, they're not even getting money for me. They've been demonetizing every one of my Ohio videos, damn near. Much appreciation to y'all, bro.
Right now, 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 right now.
Yeah, I heard about that in the Discord, but I kind of just, I don't know. I didn't go back in there. I think they got dealt with. I think they dealt with it. I heard Mindy ended the show with a big middle finger. That's what's up. It was nightmare fuel. Imagine what those kids went through every night, though. That's what I keep thinking about. I just kept thinking about that. Like, when it's time to lay down at night, they probably got mice running through the house, fucking roaches everywhere. You know they come out at night, right? When all the lights come out, the roaches come out, bro. And then when you kick those lights on or the sun starts to come up, they start scattering back in. They're disgusting. Yeah, yeah. She had a lot of kids to not understand how you take care of a kid. I agree. What's up, Southern? Yep, I got it, Bobby. Shout out to Bobby, man. Showing love, man. Shout out to Bobby with the $5 drop. Moving that goal. We're moving that goal.
Right now, 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 right now.
Shout out to Miss L Cat for the $10 drop. Miss L Cat for the $10 drop. Moving that goal.
Right now, 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 right now.
Money! Yeah, baby, yeah! No, you're not blocked, Southern. Why would you be blocked? You're a member, yo. Roaches are bad enough, miscarrying so many diseases. The kids are living their best life, sadly. I agree. I totally agree.
Information about that in the future. What do you think is going on with this investigation right now? There's been talk about downloading electronic devices. There's been talk about a computer crime section with the AG's office being involved in this case, and plus, you know, the interviews of many family members.
I think number one, they're doing physical and mental examinations of the kids, just trying to see how seriously they are abused. If they are doing computer searches on them, then that tells me, again, just from my experience, I know you said it too, we don't know what is out there, but the only reason you would be doing that, in my experience, is looking for some kind of either sex videos that they're downloading and sharing with the kids, or maybe sex videos that they're producing with the kids. And again, I've had cases like that before where the parents are physically having sex with 2 and 3 and 4-year-old kids, and then posting that online and sharing it with other people who will share their similar videos with them. And those
Sick
kids
fucks.
are ruined for life.
You
They're
sick,
put through.
sick fucks. Much love, Topaz. Much love, baby. You sick fucks. What a bunch of gross mother chuckers, bro. Oh my gosh, man.
That. I mean, again, just from my experience, it's hard to recover from that kind of abuse. And you're going to turn out to be that kind of abuser in the future. Again, from my experience, that if that's how you're brought up, if that's what you're taught,
That's true.
that's going to be your life.
That's true.
Eh,
That you know the old saying, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, and you're always what you're taught. Those are crucial stages of your life. From like I say from like 11 to 16 are pretty crucial, probably the most crucial stage in a child's life. I would say, other than growing up and trying to learn how to walk and shit, of course. But I would say from 11 to 16, those are pretty crucial in trying to shape your child into being a good citizen, being a good person, doing the right thing, trying to work for a living, staying out of trouble. Because those are the years where they're easily influenced. They're meeting a whole different social club. They're going through maturity, going through puberty, you might as well say. And I think those are really, really crucial stages. From about 11 to where 16 starts. Those are crucial, man.
And that is so incredibly awful. And I hope to God we don't find out that that's what's happened here. But, we have to wait and see what the investigation
That would be so
reveals.
sad.
This case is going to go to a grand
What's
jury.
up with y'all,
The
man?
Benton County prosecutor said that they were trying to get it to the grand jury. They only have grand jury every month and a half out there in Benton County. It's not like a bigger city.
They got the Amish out there, yo. That's Amish, right? Mennonite, maybe?
Or a bigger county where they have it every day. That could be an ongoing process, though, because often these grand juries are used to issue subpoenas and investigate cases.
Yes, I dealt with that in the Lucasville prison riot. It was DeSoto County, a lot bigger than Vinton County, but still a lot smaller county. Their grand jury met periodically, and we subpoenaed a grand jury and presented our first group of cases, but we were presenting cases for the next 6 months. So we had a big enough pool that if some of them couldn't make it, we had enough to fill in. I also remember, one lady came to grand jury with a baby.
You guys are awesome, man.
And it came time for the grand jury to vote. And I said, ma'am, I'm sorry, but technically your baby can't be in the grand jury. So I had to hold this crying baby outside of the grand jury room while the grand jury's deliberating, because I didn't want to down the road have somebody say, hey, you had somebody in the grand jury that wasn't a sworn member. So that's something else you'll deal with in the smaller counties. If they got, transportation problems, just different things that come up that you're not used to, that you have to just kind of improvise on the spot.
I wish I had a video of you holding that baby out in the hallway.
I'm thinking, oh, geez. What's next? Yes.
Okay. So do you think this could take some time?
Yep.
Then do you think that presenting this to the grand jury could take a long time, and they would have to maybe subpoena or, send out summons for a special grand jury of sorts?
I would think they would do that. You would have a grand jury that, that's the only cases you're going to hear. Plus, if you don't have the same grand jury and, 2 months later, you want to present more cases, now you got to bring them up to speed on everything you've already presented. And it could be very time consuming and difficult to do. So to me, I would think that that's going to the process they'll use. They'll have and again, enough grand jurors that, you might, normally we have 11 people, vote on a grand jury, and you need, so many to indict, but you might have 20 or 30 grand jurors brought down. And if you have that many show up, just say that we're going to let all of you sit in there, but when it comes time to vote, we're only going to have, and Hamilton County does it, every time it comes up to a vote, a couple of them will step out. So I would think they'd do something like that. They'd have,
Well, Christina's Siders, her profile picture was like stuff for Jesus on Facebook. But I don't think they were practicing like religion in there. I don't think this has a religious aspect to it. You're right about that, Lisa. I just think they believe in God, maybe, you know. But then again, if you believe in God, you yourself don't live like that. If you believe in God, you yourself don't live like that. And you would never let children live like that.
so they're not shut out of people that, you nine sit in here this time, and then next week we'll have a different nine that can
I'm
vote
with
on the
you on
matter.
that,
But
Sheila.
yeah, I think a special would be called
I'm
for.
with you on that. I think they should have known
Elizabeth
better
married
regardless.
Gary Jr. when she was 15. So she was pregnant right as she turned 15. Or
What did she see in this guy? Ladies, is he cute? I'm asking the ladies and the dudes if they want to respond to it. Is he cute? I mean, y'all wouldn't marry him? Y'all, you don't think he's cute? Maybe the Pickens where they're from is very slim, right? Maybe there's not many dudes around. I don't know. No. Everybody was a hard no. Yeah, there's a difference, man. If you don't have bugs, you can live however the fuck you want to live, right? But if you got bugs crawling everywhere, you got fucking mice everywhere, you know what I mean? That's fucking foul. I'm sorry. When there's a bug aspect to it, you're living funky. You can live any other way you want as long as you ain't got bugs. I wouldn't judge you at all. I wouldn't give a fuck. As long as the motherfucker ain't no bugs crawling everywhere. Like, fuck that. Like, I can live with anything but bugs. You feel me? I sleep on the floor in your house as long as there ain't no bugs there. He looks creepy. I think he looks like he's trying to be a hard ass. He ain't leaving his boots under my bed.
while she was maybe around 14 years.
You know, she was always pregnant, right? So there's a lot of things that she can't do. So she can't be around cleaning. Like she can't be around a lot of those cleaners. That's bad for babies, you know? That's on him to do. That's on him. That's on Christina. That's on Papaw. That's on them to pick up. If you're going to keep your woman pregnant for 16 years, for 15 years, I'm sorry, buddy. That's your job to pick up the slack. Rebecca pass as well.
Old.
I think everybody did a hard
they go to
pass.
West Virginia to get married. We've heard different stories about her demanding to do this and other things.
Feel like that's his job to pick up. Dude, I used to go to work and come home and do like some chores and shit every fucking time. Come home, clean the dishes. I didn't like it, but I did it. You know, my woman's pregnant and shit. Up like, you know, she gets 8 to 9 months. You know, lay around, girl. I got this. Shit, when my baby was born, baby mama didn't have to do nothing for my kids, bro. I was there. She didn't even have to get up at night. It was me.
I mean, either way, her parents had to sign off on this. You know, there's been so much talk about this out that way. We've heard from a lot of people who get married, who had been married or got married at age 15, which just stuns me.
That's fucking nuts.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's just a different society. Again, I was 21 when my wife and we got married. So that nowadays that almost seems young, but to be 15 years old and actually carrying kids and getting married, it would take a rare individual to me to be able to do that. And then,
Hell
really
yeah,
normal
Lisa.
adulthood. I mean, I'm sure there's some that do, but that's just a subsection of society that still exists.
Um, is that like a subsection of society that needs to be ousted? People that are marrying 15-year-olds? I think you need ousted. You shouldn't be marrying a 15-year-old unless you're 15 too. I can get that, right? Both of your parents are stupid, you know? But not when you're above 18. You shouldn't be reaching down trying to marry people at 15. Good shit, Lisa. Tell him, kitty. Hi. Hey, what you doing? Come here. Come here. Come here. He's like, come here. He said, come here. He's going to lay down with me. I don't think you should get married at 15. I would make my child at least wait till they're 18. Because at 18, I can't stop you. I can't stop you at 18. But from 15 to 18, a lot can change in your life, man. You shouldn't be fucking going and getting married. Why do you even come lay down? Go. Go lay down. Go lay down in your bed. Go, go, go. That's where he went.
But yeah, to me, a 15-year-old is not prepared to be a
No.
mom and a wife.
Let alone to be a wife.
Mark Pietmeyer, thank you so much for coming
Okay,
on. We look forward to having you back.
Will do. See ya. Bye.
Now, again, the Siders family members have pleaded not guilty to the 16 child endangering charges. Also, the judge presiding over the cases has granted a second gag order, this one at the request of Christina Siders' attorney. It's less restrictive than one Judge Rogers previously signed off on in Gary Jr.'s case. Caring for the 16 children has been taxing for the Children's Services Agency, and there's been an outpouring of support for the children. The South Central Ohio Job and Family Services posted on Facebook a list of items that they need for the 16 children for people who want to donate. It includes toys.
What are magnetiles? What are magnetiles, dude? Oh, like magnet thing? Okay.
Art supplies for coloring or drawing, journaling, and scrap.
If y'all live near or in Ohio and y'all can help out, man, that would be awesome of you. It would. If I was ever rich, I think I would just be giving my money away. I do. I would find people that needed it the most and just bless the hell out of them. I'd have to be rich, of course, but that's what I would do. Like, pay the rent for a year, pay the rent for fucking 2 or 3 years, fucking do something crazy, you know?
Scrapbook items,
I
fidget
would go around
toys,
helping people. I really would.
magnetiles, puzzles with handles, baby dolls, and plush stuffed toys, push behind walking toys, learning and sensory toys for infants and toddlers, especially in gross and fine motor skills, preschool through 12th grade learning materials, such as flashcards, books, learning games, children's clothing, all sizes, diapers, all sizes, pull-ups, all sizes. It says we will not be releasing clothing or shoe sizes to the public. Donations received at this time
Oh, they ain't even going to let you know their shoe sizes.
will be prioritized to the children you are requesting to donate to. Any remaining items will be provided to other children in care.
That's a
Again,
blessing.
thank you for your compassion and interest in helping our children. The donations can be
If you had 16 kids, wouldn't you, like Arista said, a chore chart? Wouldn't you have these 16 kids cleaning? Like, 16 children could have cleaned that place up in 2 days. No shit. 16 kids? Well, let's say 10. Let's say 6 probably ain't going to do nothing, right? But you got 10 of them working. Give it a week. That place is cleaned up, spick and span. Simple as that, man.
Dropped off on weekdays at the South Central Office of Job and Family Services. That address is in the description for this video. It's on Western Avenue in Chillicothe, Ohio.
My mama made me
And we're going
clean
to
up
keep an eye
after
on this
myself
case and let
for
you know where it
sure.
goes. That's it for this episode of Crime Fix.
If I left fucking dishes in the sink, you better get your ass in here and do these dishes. Hell yeah, she did. Oh yeah. She let me have a buddy of mine live with me when we were like 16. His mom was always a drunk, you know what I mean? And he just started staying the night with me and kind of just never left. And we knew why, you know, but we took care of him. His name was Chris. And he was my best friend. And we would just dirty some shit up, dude. And it'd be me or him that would have to do them dishes, boy, because she cleans up the house. She says you clean up after yourself because she don't want to go around cleaning house every day. She's already cleaned the house. You pick up after yourself, the house stays clean. Imagine 16 kids, man. You could get a lot done.
I'm Anjanette Levy.
You could get a whole lot done with 16 kids. Like, you can even be easy on them too. You don't even have to be rough about it. You can just be like, all right, every other day you got to do, every 3 days you got to do something. Shit. What? They be cooking too. I think there's a drug aspect into this. I do. I think my dude was getting high, man. I do. I think Gary probably had the problem and he was probably taking everybody down with him. Just to be honest. And he kept that girl around by keeping her pregnant. But I don't know how you come to living like that. Like, you've seen the house, guys. Like, we don't even have to show it again. It's so gross. It's so nasty, man. Like, the house was so nasty. Hell yeah. My mom had me doing all kind of shit. My mom was not a punk about the cleaning up, boy. And it led to me being a clean person. It did. Plus, being in prison and shit, you cleaned up after your fucking self, too. You had to be clean in the joint, too. So when I did prison time, I got clean. You had to be clean as fuck, too. But check this out, y'all.
4th, 2026, at exactly 5:15 in the evening, a piece of paper was walked into the Vinton County Courthouse in Ohio. It was a Friday. The building was almost empty. Most of the staff had already gone home. On that paper was one sentence, just one. It said, and I want you to hear it word for word, defendant's competency to stand trial has been raised. That is the father. That is Gary Siders II. 36 years old, the man at the very center of what people are calling.
So the dude said he's incompetent. So Gary Siders Jr. is saying he's incompetent now. He got one piece of paper and wrote it. What? What the fuck? Can we hear that again?
Late in the day on July 24th, 2026, at exactly 5:15 in the evening, a piece of paper was walked into the Vinton County Courthouse in Ohio. It was a Friday. The building was almost empty. Most of the staff had already gone home. On that paper was one sentence, just one. It said, and I want you to hear it word for word, defendant's competency to stand trial has been raised. That is.
What? Who walked it in? What's this?
Is the father. That is Gary Siders II. 36 years old, the man at the very center of what people are calling the Ohio House of Horrors. But that one sentence was not the whole story. It was not even the strangest part of what got filed that afternoon, because right underneath it, tucked into the same motion, his attorney asked the judge for something else. So he asked the judge to seal it, to lock it away, to hide every single page that comes next from your eyes and mine. 2 requests, 1 piece of paper, filed at the end of a Friday when the least amount of attention would be paid. That is the story I need to tell you tonight, because what looks like a normal legal motion is really 2 very different plays.
Oh, it's more than a gag order, dude.
Stacked on top of each other. And once you see how they fit together, you cannot unsee it. Before we go any further, I need you to understand what this motion actually is, because the word sounds scary and the internet is already running wild with what they think it means. A competency motion is not an insanity defense. Let me say that again, slower, because it matters. It is not the father saying he did not do it. It is not the father saying he was crazy at the time. It is not a way to walk out the front door of the jail. What a competency motion asks is very small. It asks one question. Can this man, right now, today, sit next to his lawyer and understand what is happening in the room?
What? What? So he's saying he can't stand trial. What the fuck is going on in that household, dude? What the fuck is going on, man? That was filed yesterday. That was filed yesterday. Junior, 36 years old, he said. This is going to be crazy. Facts, China. What's next? What the fuck is next, man?
Can he help his own defense? Can he follow along when a judge speaks? Can he tell the difference between the person prosecuting him and the person defending him? Can he answer a question with an answer that makes sense? That is all it asks. Nothing more. Nothing about guilt. Nothing about innocence. Nothing about that house. Nothing about those 16 kids. If the answer comes back no, the case does not go away. The 16 felony counts do not go away. The children do not go away. Nothing on the record gets erased. The case just stops. It freezes, like someone hit pause on a movie right in the middle of a scene. The father would be sent for treatment. Doctors would work with him. Months would pass. Sometimes years pass. And only when the doctors...
They just did that to Daniel Larson, and now Larson is free. I don't know if any of you know who Daniel Larson is. He's a young kid that was trolled real heavy on the internet. He had some mental issues, and he said he was going to blow up the White House. You know what I mean? He said he was going to do shit like that. And they ended up locking him up for terroristic threats. And he was so crazy, he believed that this woman in the industry loved him and shit. Like, they had him trolled outside his mind. And it took them forever for them to even make him stand trial. It was like 2 years before they even made him stand trial. Yeah, they just housed him somewhere. Yep. So this won't go away. And I'm sure his attorney told him that, right? Like, doing this isn't going to make it go away. Actually, it's probably going to allow them to build a heavier case. Like, why would you want to do this? What a pussy move, dude. There's no way he doesn't know what he's doing. And she just had fucking babies, bro. No way.
say he is ready, does the trial begin again. And only then does everyone walk back into that courtroom and pick up where they left off. So when you hear the word competency, do not hear the word freedom. Hear the word delay. Hear the word wait. Hear the word later. Because for 16 children sitting in hospital beds and foster placements right now in Ohio, later is a very heavy word. Later is not a mercy. Later is a bill somebody else pays. Now let us walk through the second door, the one his attorney did not want you to notice. In the same motion, right there in black and white, Attorney R. Lee Roberts asked the court for permission to file every supporting document under seal. Sealed, as in you do not get to read them. The press does not get to read them. The public does not get to read them. Only the judge, only the lawyers already inside the case, nobody else. And his reason for asking, read it slowly with me. He said the documents contain, and I am quoting him directly here, highly sensitive mental health information or information directly reflecting the psychiatric condition of the defendant. Now stop. Think.
What? Let's hear him out.
Think about what those words mean, not what they sound like, what they mean. For an attorney to write those words in a court filing, something has to exist. Some paper, some record, some diagnosis, some hospital visit, some evaluation done by someone somewhere at some point in this man's 36 years of life. You cannot ask a judge to seal something that does not exist. You cannot say the papers are highly sensitive if the papers are empty. Judges are not stupid. Attorneys do not file empty motions. So there are papers, there is a history somewhere. And the very first thing.
So what if he's got a little bit of a mental illness? Stop having kids, fuck. This can't be all mental illness, guys. Come on, man. They're not getting ready to play all like they're fucking crazy, are they? They're all getting ready to play like they're crazy. Right before our eyes, they're getting ready to say, "Oh, we're all crazy." Oh. Wow.
Thing this defense team decided to do with that history is to make sure you never see it. That is not a small choice. That is a strategy. It is a decision made on purpose at a specific time of day at the end of a specific week. And the timing of that strategy is the piece that made me lean forward in my chair when I first read the filing. Let me put two dates in front of you, just two. Date number one, July 14th, 2026. That is the day the first gag order came down in this case. It told the lawyers, the investigators, the prosecutors, the court staff, everybody with a badge or a briefcase to stop talking to the press. It shut every official mouth in the case. Date number two, July 24th, 2026. That is the day we just walked through. The competency motion, the request to seal, the 5:15 p.m. filing on a Friday, 10 days, just 10 days apart. Same case, same attorney. R. Lee Roberts on both filings. I am not going to tell you what that means. I am going to let you sit with it. Because when the same lawyer in the same case in 10 days.
What the fuck does it mean? What's up, Chrissy with a K?
First shuts the mouths of everyone who could speak on the record and then asks the court to lock away the paper trail of his client's mind, a picture starts to form. A picture of a defense that is not fighting on the facts, a defense that is fighting on the silence, a defense that is not trying to explain what happened, but is trying to control what the public can see and hear about what happened. Now, is that legal?
Yeah.
Yes, it is completely legal. Every defendant in America has the right to a strong defense. And gag orders and seal requests are tools that get used every day in serious cases across this country. I am not saying anything different. I am not saying anything unfair, but I am saying this. A defense built on silence works. It works on juries. It works on judges. And it works on you and me sitting on our couches trying to understand what happened to 16 children in a small Ohio town. Because you cannot be angry about what you cannot see. You cannot organize about what you cannot read. You cannot demand accountability for a story you were never told. And this defense team seems to understand that better than anyone else at the table right now. So let us do something the defense would very much prefer we did not do. Let us try to guess what is on those sealed pages, not the words. We cannot know the words, but the shape of them, where they might have come from. What kind of documents would have to exist for a lawyer to write those words? Here's what investigators have said publicly about this family. And I want you to listen closely because it changes what this seal request means. For years, according to state records and multiple public statements, the Siders family drifted through several Ohio counties. They moved, they changed addresses. And along the way, they did something a lot of struggling families do not do. They avoided the paper. They avoided the school system, at least in a formal way. They avoided regular medical care. They avoided the kind of government records that most American families leave behind them, like footprints, birth records with follow-up visits, enrollment forms, doctor visits year after year, dental records, vaccination records, school photos, report cards, all the ordinary paper trail of an ordinary American childhood. Most of it, according to what the state has said publicly, is missing for this family. That is what the investigators have said. That is on the record. So here's the question that sits in my chest. If this family avoided the paper for years, where did the paper his lawyer wants sealed come from? Was there a hospital visit somewhere, an emergency room in a town they passed through, a court-ordered evaluation from a different case in a different county that we do not know about yet, a jail intake screening from an arrest we have not been told about, a social worker's file from a decade ago in a county they lived in briefly, a military record, a workers' compensation claim? I do not know. And that is the point. Nobody in the public knows. And if the seal is granted, nobody in the public ever will. The paper will exist. The judge will read it. The lawyers will fight about it. And on the outside, we will only ever see the outline of the shape it left behind. The absence of records for this family for so many years is exactly what makes the sudden appearance of records now so loud. Something exists. Something was written down about the father's mind at some moment in his life. And the very first thing this case is going to do is bury it before you can read it. Now, I want to talk about time, because time...
He's fucking crazy, ain't he? He's crazy, ain't he? Gotta be crazy. Gotta be.
Is the piece nobody in the courtroom is going to say out loud, but it is the piece that matters most to the 16 kids at the center of this. In Ohio, when a competency motion is granted, the case goes on hold. The doctors take over. There is an evaluation. That can take weeks by itself, sometimes longer if the state's psychiatric hospitals are backed up, which they often are. Then, if the defendant is found not competent, there is what the law calls restoration. That is the process of trying to get him to a place where he can stand trial. Medication, therapy, regular check-ins with mental health.
They're gonna keep you, bro. You're not going home, Gary. You're going to a mental hospital, buddy. You're gonna go to a prison mental hospital. They're gonna have you up in there and they're gonna dope you to death. I bet that's what he's doing, trying to get doped up. Fucking drug addict. He's probably trying to get high. What, like, here's the craziest part about all this. Are all of them crazy? That's hard to believe. That's really, really hard to believe. That's really hard to believe. Well, unfortunately, you did your due. In America, they've gotten rid of a lot of our mental hospitals, and they've turned our prisons into mental hospitals. That's what they've done. They're sending everybody that's crazy to the jail, prison. They let them do something wrong, and they go to jail or prison. They don't go to no fucking hospital and get better. Yeah, I think we've only got one state hospital in our state. I think just one now. There used to be one fucking 4 miles from me. And it was wild because when I was young, you could see the crazies out walking in the yard. And they'd just be walking. Because you could walk up to like the fence part of it and walk down the street and shit. It was pretty wild. It's right in the middle of our city. Yeah, he did. They said he did DoorDash twice for him, like 4 years ago or some shit's what they said. But DoorDash is going to say that.
Court reviews every so often to see if he is ready yet. Restoration in Ohio can take a very long time. In some cases, it takes 6 months. In some cases, it takes a full year. In some cases, it takes multiple years, with review after review, hearing after hearing, each one deciding that the defendant is still not ready, so wait a little longer. Come back in 90 days. During all of that time, the trial does not happen. The witnesses do not testify. The children do not have to face what a trial would ask them to face, which sounds like a mercy on the surface, but it is also a delay, a very long one. And delay is not the same thing as protection, because those same children are also trying to heal. They are in foster homes. They are in therapy. They are learning what a normal meal looks like. They are learning what a bed feels like. They are learning what it feels like when
right there. That's a good thought. Like, maybe he's a snitch. That was a good fuck. Ding 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 ding. Woo! That's the comment of the night right there, bro. Maybe that motherfucker's a rat somewhere.
An adult in the room is not a threat. The younger ones may not remember what happened to them. The older ones will remember every second. And a case that stretches on for years is a case that lives in their heads for years.
Yep.
Every court date, every anniversary of that June 30th rescue, every time a lawyer calls them to prepare for a testimony that keeps getting pushed, every time a therapist has to walk them through it again because the calendar demands it. The father's clock, if the motion is granted, gets slower. The children's clock does not. It never does. Their clock keeps ticking at full speed, whether the court is moving or not. That is the cost. That is what a piece of paper filed at 5:15 on a Friday afternoon actually purchases. It purchases time. And time in a case like this is not free. Somebody is paying for it.
See, man, that just looks like a lot of drug use, man. It really does to me. It looks like drugs have wore on her. You know, her eyes aren't even the same anymore. Her cheeks have flushed out. Her cheek, she's not, it just looks like drug use, man. This looks like the faces of meth. It does. This is not just somebody that lost weight. There's for real fucking hurt in that little girl. Look at her. She's for real hurt, dude. She's got one of them little half smiles like I have on the left. One of the little half cock smiles. Pregnancy. That's a lot of pregnancy. You're right about that. Stress, most definitely. Yeah, that's wild as many kids as she had, man. It's kind of amazing. It's kind of amazing because God kept giving them to her. You know, that's one thing I can't seem to get out of my mind is why did God keep giving them to her? But, you know.
And it is not the man in the jail cell. Let me bring you back to where we...
Well, how could they afford drugs? Well, they weren't taking care of the 16 kids, you know? And drug use, them using drugs, and that place looking like it does, it's indicative of that. It's indicative of people that are just satisfying themselves and they're not giving a fuck about the 16 kids they've got to raise and how this place needs to look and how we need to live. Could she have been slow? I don't know. I mean, anybody can be, I guess. You're right about that. Walking baby factory. You're right, Lighthouse. I'm not taking away that fact either. I'm just thinking, why would you? You know? Why would you allow yourself to do that if it wasn't drugs? You know, you got to think. She is allowing this to take place. But why? For sex? Of course not, right? But I could see drugs being something, man. And I'm not saying that's what it is. But that looks like hard drugs.
Started to that one sentence on that one piece of paper. Defendant's competency to stand trial has been raised. 10 words.
There's another little kitty. Holy shit, dude. She got some cats. Look at that little kitty. He's cute too. She got some pretty cats, huh? Might be a victim too. I agree. I'm not taking away that idea at all. I agree. I totally agree. Is it that all of them are nuts? Is that what they're all going to claim? That they're all kind of crazy? They're all pretty strays, though. They all look like they come from different litters and shit. Got every damn cat. That's a cute little kitty, though. AD wants all the kitties. I couldn't take them all, Rista. I got to buy a house first. I can't take them all. Hell, I don't even want another one right now. I thought about getting one, but I don't want to put him on my leash yet. I think karma's good enough. It says she was a cheerleader before she left school, so she had to maintain a certain grade point. Yep. But that's kind of when, around the time when I started to fall off too, was like 15. I started to like rebel, you might say. I don't know. I rebelled against school. I really did. So I am no candidate to talk about like kids need to go to school because I rebelled hard. And it was only because school bored me. I was learning, you know. I would go to school, give it a try and shit, and then I'd get bored with it. And I wasn't learning anything, I felt like. I felt like I was waiting on everyone else to learn what I already know. It's kind of weird. Maybe I should have been in excelled classes, maybe, but it just bored me. And then I started turning into a class clown. Then it was like, why even go to the fucking class if I'm just going to be a class clown? Then I wouldn't even go to school. There were classes when I was in junior high school that I would go in and accept my in-school suspension for that class, and I would go down and sit in detention room because I liked the detention room. Think about that. It's insane. It's like, I don't want to be in your class. Give me my slip. I'm going to go down to the detention room. Every day I walked into her class and got a detention slip. Just walked up to the desk and got it ready for me. Yep. And that's kind of crazy, but that's where I was able to do my work. It's kind of crazy, man. I was a bad kid. I was. I did not care for authority or school.
Filed on a Friday in a small county courthouse in Ohio at 5:15 in the afternoon when almost nobody was watching. And attached to those 10 words is a second request, a request to seal, a request to hide, a request to keep the story of one man's mind out of the hands of the public that is trying so hard to understand this case. The court is being asked to look at one man's mind. And in the very same breath, the court is being asked to look away from the reason why. That is what happened on July 24th, 2026.
Damn.
That is where this case is right now. In the meantime, Gary Siders II sits at the Southeastern Ohio Regional Jail on $300,000 bond. His misdemeanor public indecency hearing on a separate matter has been pushed to August 13th. And every filing that comes next in his case will land in the same courthouse where two of the biggest doors in the American legal system are already halfway closed. I do not know what the judge will decide. I do not know what is on those pages. And if the seal is granted, none of us ever will. But I know this. When a defense begins with silence and then adds more silence on top of it, the loudest thing in the room becomes the empty chair where the truth was supposed to sit. Stay with me on this case. There is more coming. And I promise you, we will read every filing they let us read together, every page.
I like to hear that. There's no doubt. I think he's the ringleader in all this. He's the person that you put most of the blame on, I think, right? And then the second blame goes to Elizabeth because, of course, you were having these children. But But I think the full blame goes on the father that could have done something, that could have changed something, you know? And then, I don't know, maybe 50-50, you think? They both in the same problem? I just feel like I was a father, you know? I love my children. There's no way I would ever have them sleeping somewhere that was roach infested. Not a chance. Not one night. They know if they ever end up somewhere like that, you call me. Dad will get you. They know, you know? Hell no. Hell no. Fuck no, dude. And let alone 16 children. We all know how dirty children can be. He failed to provide for a wife constantly pregnant and the children he made. Yeah, sick bastard. Now he wants to act like he's sick and twisted. Fucking pussy. Just be honest, bro. He was probably on drugs. He could have been the only person on drugs and he was dragging everybody else down. He very well could have been the only one on drugs. We all know how that happens. You know, that's his mother and father. So they're going to let him get away with whatever as long as, you know, he's around and taking care of them, I guess, halfway. They got a roof over their head. What's up, Venna? Karma Kitty was up here. That's how I feel, man. Like, he could have very well been the only one on drugs, too. Because we know how they are. Drug addicts will take the whole family down with them. A drug addict would have their family living like that. That's what you're thinking, Chrissy? A lot of stuff has crossed my mind about how this could have all went down because I've thought about it so much. And I just can't land on anything. The grandparents were providing the roof. Yeah. If they had played their cards right, welfare would have helped them. Oh, this could have been a much different story. This could have been a much different story, guys. You know, had they been more humble, had they been more forthcoming, this story could have made them rich instead of now was going to make somebody else rich. That's how I feel. I think that they could have this could have been a fucking A&E documentary for them and the world would have loved them. The world, look what they did for the Whitakers, bro. Imagine what YouTube could have done for this family. Shit. Everybody would have backed this family, bro. Everybody. I would have been behind him like, come on, we need to help these kids. For sure. Yeah, Dad wasn't providing that roof. Like, look what the Whitaker family. People came out of their fucking socks for that family, right? People gave we all know the Whitakers could have been millionaires in 1 year. This family could have captured way more families if they would have been more humble, more transparent, more forthcoming, more and but something was making them stop that. Something was making them stop that. And I think the only thing that would make me stop from going to get help would be that I'm on drugs. I'm the problem with all this, you know? And it's very odd to me why they wouldn't just go and got help, you know? It's real odd to me that why wouldn't you say, hey, I need some fucking help, dude? Welcome, Ruby. I need some freaking help. I got 16 kids here, man. Can you help me? She would have got some help. She wouldn't have lost her children. So they were obviously not the parents obviously knew that they weren't being the parents that they should be. So they were hiding it. Right? It would like I don't know, like I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't want to try to get help. And why? And you would just allow yourself to get deeper and deeper in debt, deeper in a hole. Your house is starting to look with the way the house looked, y'all. I can't get past that. There was rooms with just trash piled up, no place to sit, no place to do anything. Right, Lily? It's rough enough having 16 of them, boy. Ooh, wee, boy. That could have been their fear, yeah. But then why don't you feel like you could have just done better, right? Why couldn't you have just started to do better and then get help, right? Like we need to straighten this up, get some help, clean up the house. Um, CPS might be stopping by. Like drugs would make someone do that. Like run from all their problems. But now they're not ever going to be around their children ever again. And those kids are going to have to go through a boatload of therapy, even if that helps them. There's a chance that none of this is going to help them. There's a chance that these children might even go through worse. That's what happened with the Turpin family. Some of their kids went through hell in foster families. Everybody, great having you guys tonight, man. This is a touching subject. This is so touching to me. It is. And I'm gonna stay close attention to it. I'm gonna pay close attention to this. I sure am. I appreciate all y'all sending me stuff. I do. I appreciate y'all. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening. This was a good live, man. As you can see, they did move around. They did try to run from like anyone knowing about them. They did. They did not want to be known that they were living this way, I believe. And that's kind of wild. They could have had a much better life, I think. Yeah, they wouldn't have cared about clutter. Nah. They know the difference. They know the difference. They do. CPS, when they come in your house and they come in there on a call or whatever, because somebody called on you, they know the way people are living. Everybody have a great Saturday night. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Saturday night. You guys are always a blast. I will see you guys again tomorrow night, man. Same time, same channel. You know the drill. Stay aggressive.